Science is a cumulative body of tentative knowledge which explains the physical world around us. This is what is the definition. Now, two things. It is a cumulative body. Science is not something which one person tells at one time and that is final. It has evolved over time. So, it's a cumulative body. And second thing, science is a tentative knowledge. The knowledge about any physical reality has been tentative. You believe something, then over a period of time things change. For example, corpuscular theory and wave theory of light. So those two theories were there. Then there was some debate and eventually it was proved that one theory is right, another theory is wrong. Similarly, you must have heard that when you have a burn, earlier there were reports that you should not put water, it is very bad. Then science advanced, they said you should put a lot of water, it is good. So these kind of changes keep on coming. So science is a tentative knowledge. With every development, you improvise your science. Okay? So this is tentative body, cumulative body, and acceptable body. Science is not science because your teacher is telling that it is science. It is to be proved experimentally, and it can be repeated. It should be repeatable, and that's how theories are built. So this is the beginning of science. I wish you to listen to what I am going to tell you with these notions about science. Now, before I begin my technical talk, I am going to spend about 5 minutes which are as important as the technical thing which I am going to tell you. First of all, I will begin with a small introduction about the place from where I am coming. I am a student in Physical Research Laboratory, PRL, which was established by Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. Probably you would have, is there a pointer? Yes. You would have seen this place. It is in Navarampura, Ahmedabad. And Vikram Sarabhai established this laboratory when he was just 27 years of age. You can imagine that someone can think of setting up a laboratory at the age of 27. It began from his home, and over a period of time it has evolved. The statement which he made is that countries have to provide facilities for its nationals to do front-rank research within the resources that are available. It is equally necessary, having produced the man who can do research, to organize task-oriented projects for the nation's practical problems. In a nutshell, if I have to tell you that nation is striving to provide the resources, and this INSPIRE program which DST and the Christ College has organized is one way of generating that sort of brain in the country. So please use this opportunity as best as possible. One more thing. Can you quickly tell me the names?
Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, C.V. Raman, J.C. Baba.
This is what Baba Ambe.
Vikram Sarabhai, Sachin
And you are here. This spot is reserved for you. You are potentially capable of reaching in this position, provided you do something different from what others have. These are all extraordinary individuals. Okay. But they have not become extraordinary because they did extraordinary things. They did the same things which everyone else is doing, but they did those things differently. And you need to do something differently so that you can assure your place in it. Now, some important things as a student which you must keep in mind. See, all these people have contributed to nation building. For example, you tell that what Sachin Tendulkar has contributed in nation building. See, he has brought the glory for the nation. It is because of him that the country is known. That someone from India has done this remarkable performance. So this is what he is known for. He has done something great. Similarly, you will tell that if I want to do something great, what can I do? How can you contribute to the nation? But you can contribute to the nation provided you do the same things in very, very different manner. And what are those manners? That first of all, you need to define your goal. Have you ever thought what would you be? Can you please tell me that how many of you wants to become engineer? Please be honest, huh? Okay. And how many of you want to become doctor? Okay. And how many of you want to become scientist? Fine. Now, it's alright. It doesn't matter whether you want to become engineer, you want to become scientist, you want to become doctor. I don't want to drive home the point. The point which I want to drive home is that whatever you become, but develop the excellence. This is what is more important. It is not important that you become an engineer with 50% marks in 12th standard and then getting admission somewhere and become an engineer. I wish that you become engineer but with excellence, a doctor with an excellence, and a scientist with an excellence. This is what is required. My message is not that everyone should become scientist, okay, but my message is that you excel even in the basic science also. And what is required to be done for that? Define your goal right from the beginning, that you want to do something and have some goal in your mind, that is I do like. Then concentrate. Learn to concentrate. Now concentrate, but not for 10 minutes. You persevere in your concentration. So you learn to develop this technique of perseverance. See, we observe certain things, but we don't follow. For example, you must have seen the movies of Jet Li and many other karate and kung fu and judo and martial arts. Bruce Lee's movies. Now, in those movies, they show the concentration phase. Tremendous concentration and perseverance is there in the martial art which he is performing. Similarly, you need to develop that concentration. We see that movie, but we don't appreciate the importance of concentration. Then, intelligent hard work. Not hard work, intelligent hard work. Hard work does not mean you solve 500 problems on the same way. It is hard work. It is not intelligent hard work. I request you to do intelligent hard work. Then commitment to what you are doing. Now, what is the meaning of commitment? You say, I am committed to science, I am committed to study. No. Commitment means when your parents tell you that, beta, please don't watch TV beyond a certain number of time. You should not feel that you are sacrificing something. Feel that this is you are doing because you enjoy doing that. And that comes only when you are committed to what you are doing. Okay? Introspection. You introspect. That is it right? You will think that I am working for 14 hours. But why that is not yielding the result? So that introspection is required. Next is consultation. Consult. To whom you consult? You consult to your teacher. Make friend with your teacher. Be frank and ask him. If you do these things, you will be able to achieve the goal. As I told you, I don't intend to make all of you into a scientist. What I want to convey is that you need to develop the excellence. And consultation should be the consultation with a teacher, knowledgeable teacher. Ask them the question. Most often, we try to hide our ignorance. In hiding that ignorance, we perpetuate our ignorance. If you reveal your ignorance once, you no more reveal ignorance. Because you have asked that question. So ask that question, do consultation, and focus. So with these introductory discussions, I will begin my technical part. Okay. I wanted to discuss this because for the next 1 hour that I talk something, little bit of technical things, I wish you to focus on that and carry home some message with you that how you can imbibe what I am talking in your day-to-day activities. Fine. Please do it interrupt me whenever you wish to know something. As I told you, I am not a sir and you are not a student. We are all students. So you can ask questions to me as you ask to any of you. Don't hesitate. What I am going to talk about is water resources scenario of India and importance of isotope application in hydrology research. Now in this title, there are a couple of things. Whichever is of your interest, try to follow it. One thing is it tells about the water resources scenarios in India. It's a altogether different issue. It's a different topic. Second thing is isotope application. So isotope physics is a different branch of science. So this is another thing embedded into my presentation. And third is hydrology research related. So what I am going to talk to you has to be looked into this perspective. Now I tell you very strange thing. Now suppose you are becoming an engineer. Suppose you have become a top class civil engineer from IIT. Okay. Now for that top class engineer also, engineering does not mean only mathematics. Not only means structural engineering. It means the advanced application. So as an engineer, even as a civil engineer, there is something that isotope can play a role. For example, leakage from the dam. You can use the isotope. If you have become mechanical engineer, in your mechanically designed tanks, if there is a leakage, then you can use isotope application. You can use isotope to detect the leakage and design your pressure tanks accordingly. The point that I wish to drive home is that all these three different things which are there in the title of my talk are interwoven, and try to appreciate the linkages between them. Okay. Probably the easiest of these. Oh, I am very sorry. I will come here. The easiest of this will be the water resources scenario of India. All these four pictures you would have probably seen somewhere, either personally in your personal life you have seen this, maybe you have seen in some video channel, TV program, and this you would have seen in your chemistry textbook. Can anyone tell how many neutrons are there in hydrogen atom? Hydrogen atom doesn't have a neutron? Okay. Which isotope will have? Fine. And oxygen? 8, 9, and 10. Okay. It means you are aware about the IC. This word which I have mentioned here, you are aware about it. I just wanted to know about it. Okay. So first we'll begin with water cycle. Now all of you are aware about this. I am 100% sure that all of you are aware about the water cycle. You have studied, maybe right from your 5th standard you have studied this water cycle. That evaporation occurs in the oceanic region and vapor is formed. This vapor moves inland, then it condenses. Either the snow is formed or the rain is formed, then rain falls in the continental region, then it feeds to the groundwater or it feeds to the rivers, and then eventually it comes back to ocean. So this is the hydrological cycle which every one of you are aware of.